Hello and welcome. I'm Ijoma Onyato. Tonight, the presidency confirms plans to probe ministers who misappropriated funds under former President Goodluck Jonathan's administration. National Economic Council meets today, may get reports of the NNPC probe next month, also frowns on the impact of insurgency in the northeast. A 90-year-old monarch kidnapped by gunmen in Bayelsa State, youths of the community take to the streets in protest. And U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry justifies nuclear deal with Iran.
And on business news tonight, a mixed bag of financial reports pour in as listed companies on the Nigerian Stock Exchange reveal half-year earnings.
And on sports news, Dream Team 6 coach Samson Siasia issues a rival deadline for players returning to camp ahead of the Olympic Games qualifier against Congo.
It's now been confirmed that the presidency is ready to commence probe of ministers and other government officials who served during the tenure of former President Goodluck Jonathan. The special advisor to the president on media and public affairs, Mr. Femi Adesina, told Channels Television today that it'll only make sense to look into the activities of immediate past governments rather than delving into other administrations. According to him, it would be a distraction for the president to begin digging into all former administrations. For a proper takeoff of President Buhari's government, there is the need to look into the immediate past governments, end of quote. He, however, made it clear that the probe is not a witch hunt, as only persons who looted the country's funds will be made to return the money. He explains further that Mr. Buhari will not waste time probing the administrations of former President Olusegun Obasanjo, Abdulsalami Abubakar, Sani Abacha, and Ibrahim Babangida. Mr. Adesina described the outcome of the president's official visit to the U.S. as, quote, a roaring success on every side. And after 4 days of serious meetings with the U.S. President Barack Obama and other officials, the president is back in the country and set to translate all the gains of the tour into reality. President Muhammadu Buhari arrived at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport early this morning and was welcomed by the Vice President and some other governors before going straight to his car. This is the President's first visit to the United States since resuming office. The President was hosted by the United States President Barack Obama at the Blair House. Well, indeed, the president is back in the country to resume the task of governance. But Nigerians in the United States have been reacting to some aspects of his speech during his town hall meeting. Some of them told our Washington correspondent Maria Bird that there's a lot to expect from President Buhari, especially regarding his promise to tackle corruption and getting the diaspora population involved in development back home.
Buhari's visit in Washington would not have been complete without a meeting at the Embassy of Nigeria. Right here in Washington, many Nigerians met together to ask questions about security, about Boko Haram, and also about corruption.
My questions are on anti-corruption and governance. Will approach those candidates to release those accounts and quote, prosecute those people and let the accounts be paid again.
Many Nigerians in the diaspora are looking forward to the future of Nigeria as a result of President Buhari's remarks at the town hall meeting.
Basically, what he said are very positive things, and it's just a matter of everyone working together to try to accomplish what he's setting out to do. It's going to be quite difficult for him as an individual to get those things done, but together, you know, be it APC or PDP, just forget about the election for a second and then focusing on Nigeria and actually getting things moving forward. I think that would be a goal to accomplish.
Yeah, but so many things that the president touched tonight, I believe he has said well, talking about the diaspora commission. You know, if he really signs it into bill, it will really help, you know, in recruiting a lot of smart, intelligent Nigerians who are genuine and ready to serve, to be able to, you know, help the development and growth of Nigeria. And again, about the signing in the bill for us to be able to vote in the year 2019.
My reaction to President Buhari is that folks are excited. A lot of folks in the diaspora here heard exactly what they wanted to hear. We have a president who's focused on fighting corruption, who's focused on routing Boko Haram, and who's excited about, or at least entertaining the idea of tapping into the energy of Nigerians in the diaspora. So folks are really excited. Folks are excited to get involved. And overall, I think things went really well.
During the town hall meeting, President Buhari addressed the issues of Nigeria and provided those in the diaspora with a roadmap for the future of Nigeria. From Washington, Maria Bird, Channel Television News.
Meanwhile, Nigerians in the United Kingdom have also been sharing their thoughts on President Buhari's activities while in the U.S. The consensus is that Nigeria needs to strengthen her internal structures and institutions. Otherwise, external support will always fall short of desired outcomes. Our correspondent Karen Chambers reports from London.
President Muhammadu Buhari's visit to the US has been the talk of the town, particularly among Nigerians in the UK. Key outcomes of the trip include strengthening partnerships to tackle insecurity, boosting trade and the economy, and strengthening good governance in Nigeria. But how much impact can external factors have on internal affairs in Nigeria? Since President Buhari came to power in April, the US has committed $5 million in the fight against insurgency, with more technical and intelligence support in view.
I think that the international community has been waiting for an opportunity and a moment like this to have somebody at the helm of affairs in Nigeria that they believe that they can work with in terms of how Nigeria can really become a regional superpower.
There are huge challenges facing the world right now. Top of the list is the issue of terrorism, global terrorism. Boko Haram is in a very grand alliance with IS. IS is a chronic enemy of the United States of America, and it's quite important that irrespective of who is in the White House or who is the president of Nigeria, that relationship is strong.
Nigeria has also asked the US for assistance in locating funds stolen over the past decade, said to be held in overseas accounts by corrupt officials.
Politically exposed persons have properties here in the UK, in the US, and in most of these countries. But what has happened is that the governments have looked the other way because these stolen funds enrich Britain, enrich America. So the real beef would be for the US to be announcing in 6 months' time that, look, we've made quite a number of arrests in the number of Nigerians who could not account for how they were able to buy properties in Maryland, in Washington, in Knightsbridge, in London. That is when Nigerians will know that there is a meaningful effort from the meeting between Obama and Buhari.
With pledges and grants from the World Bank and other sources in the US being made to Nigeria, some analysts say Nigeria must stay in control of her internal affairs, regardless of international aid.
What Washington should be mindful of is that a society is supposed to evolve organically. Once that society evolves organically, it becomes easier for you to interact and for the society to move to whatever level it needs to get to. If you come into a society and you want to impose what you think on that society, you are going to have a problem.
Being based on the ground in Nigeria, what's your assessment of what President Buhari's next step should be?
Our country has been a country whereby you have individuals have become so powerful and institutions are very weak. So if we have institutions that are stronger, then our democracy will be deepened. So it is imperative on the current government to make sure that every day institutions are strengthened, and that is the only way our democracy can survive the test of time.
If Nigeria is successful, it will take away a lot of burden from other global powers because Nigeria will be able to look after itself and also its neighbors.
Many here in the UK are of the opinion that the international community cannot solve all of Nigeria's challenges. What happens next remains to be seen. Karen Chambers, Channels Television News, London.
Well, Americans are still analysing the visit by President Muhammadu Buhari to their country. Many are pleased with the growing partnership between the two countries, and one of them is the president of the Constituency for Africa, a group in the United States focused on improving such partnerships with Africa. Mr. Melfort says Nigeria continues to occupy a strategic place in America's relations with Africa, but there's the need for more American investment in the country to reciprocate the number of Nigerian professionals working in the United States.
President Obama really wants to support democracy. He really wants to support good governance. He really wants to talk about ending corruption or building back corruption. He wants to talk about Boko Haram, And so I think that they're meeting eyeball to eyeball. And everything that I'm hearing and reading out is that the U.S. government is going to do what it can to support a serious government in Nigeria. And they see President Buhari as capable and willing to do that. Nigeria has 50,000 doctors in North America. And these are not your general hospital doctors. These are heart surgeons, brain surgeons. They're doing all these things to save our white people here in the United States, when in fact they should be contributing to Nigeria, contributing to Africa, some kind of way. And so I think that the potential for this talent, this Nigerian talent that's over here, doing all kinds of things to help make our country great, can be applied through technology, can be applied through political processes to help make a contribution back home. Some of this doesn't mean you have to get on a plane and go to Abuja. You can help Nigeria from Chicago. You can help Nigeria from Colorado. You can help Nigeria from Washington.
In part two, after the break, police battle to keep miscreants off the streets of Lagos, Ibadan and Calabar. That's in a moment. Please join us again.